I'm going to tie up a quick nymph pattern here. There's really no name for it. I just kind of came up with it myself. And it uses some fun stuff. So what I'm using is, I'm using 6/0 black thread with a longer shanked 64th ounce jig. So just start with our base like we always do. You want to go all the way down to where about the hook is starting to turn. And then come back up with it. And then we're just going to finish our wrap here. Should be good. Just give this a tug. There we go. So we got our base on there. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is I use saddle hackle. This is saddle hackle, black and black. And what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to we had a power surge. That was weird. You want to take this and you want to take a clump of this hair off of this side, and you can just pull this back like that, about an inch off of there. So you can see I've got this here now. Pinch it with your fingers, and you can see I've got the hair there. So you want to keep that kind of lined up there. Now it won't line up here on this end, but it will on the tips. So just keep a hold of it there. So you want it to look just like this. So you want it to look just like that little clump of hair. And that's going to be our part of our tail. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and get that started. Kind of run it down here. There we go. Now, we're going to do the same thing again with the saddle hackle. Just going to rip off a chunk of it here. I like to do two big chunks of it. And the way I like to do this is just like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just tying it in here for your tail. So once you get this on there, now what you can do, because we're not putting any weight on here, is you can just tie this up there like so. And once you get it in there, you can just pull this stuff back. Trim it off, and then just straighten it up there. There we go. Good enough. So that's going to be our tail. You can see that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to tie in our ribbing. And what I use on this, I don't know why I did this, but I just came up with it. I took a piece of floss, dental floss, and I just colored it black with a black Sharpie. You could use like Swiss straw too, but I just used black dental floss. It works really well. And what you want to do is just get it a little moist, and it'll be a lot easier to work with. So we're going to tie that in. Tie it all the way back down to where your tail starts. There we go. Come back up. And let's get this back down here. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to tie in we're going to put our dubbing on. And for dubbing, I'm just going to use some black. Not real. I don't really want a lot of spikiness on this particular bug. I want it to be pretty flat. So I'm going to use just some of my Hairtron dubbing. This should work just fine right here. Again, you can experiment with whatever you like. Just put it on there and twist it on. So. And now this, I'm going to want to put this on quite a ways up because we're going to use a lot of dubbing on this particular bug. So I usually put quite a bit on there. Get it turned. That should be adequate. If we have to add more, we can. So we're just going to get this started back here. Here we go. Oop, I went too far. Bring it back this way. There we go. So you want to work that up. And you do want it to just get a little thicker as you go up. Not a lot. Just a little bit. I think that'll be good. Maybe just a tick more. There we go. I like how that looks. So you can see that there. It's we got our dubbing on there. So what we want to do now is take our floss, and what I do is I just spin this floss. You can spin it because you don't want it to be flat, so you just have to take and twist it like this a bunch of times. There we go. We got a good start. Once you get it going, it goes pretty good. There. There. Then we're just going to wrap forward, palmer it on there. There. Get it up to the front like normal. And you can do this in any color. You can make this fly in any color: brown, olive, white. There we go. So we want to take and just trim off this floss because we don't need that anymore. Floss is kind of hard to cut, so you need to have a good sharp scissors and kind of bury the end there. Perfect. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to tie in our overbody for the back overbody. And what I did with that is I simply took pheasant tail, fibers, and I just painted or used my black Sharpie again. Sharpies are fun. I use them for a lot of things. So you want to tie these in right about in the middle, maybe a little bit more. So you go longer, then you have more to work with. So just get one turn in there, get this up where it needs to be. There we go. We're going to go like this. There we go. So now that we got that tied in, we can take and we can cut off our excess here. There we go. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in our legs. And what I use for the legs, again, is just the same strung hackle. You just want to grab about an inch worth of leg, maybe a little bit less than that. You don't need as many fibers for the legs on the front. So what you want to do is just take and grab, I would say a ½ an inch would probably be a good place to start. So we're going to take our legs, and you can see I got them here. Just pinching them off, and we're going to want to tie them in on the sides because they're going to be on the sides. So just get them started there. You don't want to tie them down just quite yet. So here we go. And actually those are a little long. So I'm going to back these out because I don't want to have to spend time trimming them all. I'd rather just take them off and shorten them up while I still have it on here. So, and you can vary the number of legs that you want in here. I mean, you can have a lot or a little, or it's really up to you. There we go. There, much better. There. Good to go. So then we just want to put a couple turns on there, like so. And then we want to take our saddle hackle, feather, and we're going to want to cut off another clump of those, about a ½ inch for the other side. I try to kind of cut from the same spot on the other side of the feather so that they're the same length. But it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about it if it's not. And then just take these and hold the ends and tie them in just like you did the other side. Like so. Get one wrap on there, and then we can see what we got here. I'll pull these back just a tick. Actually, pull those out of there. These hackle fibers can be kind of a pain to work on, or work with, I should say. There we go. Much better. So we want this to be right there. Go. Perfect. So that put in there. So now we got our extra stuff here, so we're just going to trim this off. There. That out of there, so you can see our legs are on there. They're looking good. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put on some black ice dub. And the reason I use the wax on that is because the ice dub doesn't like to stick real well a lot of the time. So let me find it here. And this black ice dub's good. It's got some red fibers in it and some other flashy fibers, blue, I think. You should be able to see it on the camera there. And it's really spiky, so you want to use wax, otherwise you'll be fighting it. And just same thing, just keep working it in there. And that should be good. There we go. And this part of the fly, or the jig, I guess you'd call it, is you do want to keep this. You do want to keep this pretty tight. So when you put it on there, there you go, perfect. You want it a little thicker than the back. That looks good. So now what we're going to do, that we got that on there, is we're going to take our black Sharpie colored pheasant tail, and we're going to pull that forward, and we're going to just lock it into place. Need about 3 wraps on there. We're going to come in the front, so we're going to do the same thing. There we go. We're going to trim this off. There we go. And then we're just going to put a little bit more black on there to hide that thread. Don't need much in the end there. Just enough to hide that thread. There we go. And then we're going to take our whip finisher. Oops. And we're just going to put, you only need about 3 or 4 wraps on this. Pull it tight. I like to back wrap that until it catches, just because it makes it a lot easier. There we go. And that's pretty much it. So you can see we got our legs on there coming off the sides. You could shorten those legs up a little bit if you wanted, or you can leave them like that. I'll shorten these up a little bit. Nah, I'm gonna leave them. They're good. There we go. Then we're just going to take our head cement and we're going to just put a drop on the top. There we go. And that's it. That's the fly. I'll take the camera in here a little closer so you can see it. Up close. Let's see. There it is right there. So you can see it's got a nice body on it. It's really buggy. Nice yellow eye for the jig on the jig head. Spin it around and look at it here. You can clean up those fibers if you want, or you can leave them alone. You can see that tinsel ribbing on there. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you can see it on here. So, and that's it. That's a really easy fly to tie.